bringing you news and information from around the Pacific Command. This is your AFN Pacific Report.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of your AFN Pacific Report. I'm Senior Airman Therese Garnier. With the announced rebalance to the Asia-Pacific and troop reshuffling in the region, Australia has been a key partner. We head down under to kick off this newscast to showcase the unique opportunities Australia has to offer one Marine air crew that they can't get at home.
Service members participating in Exercise Southern Frontier arrived in Australia after 4 weeks of training in Guam. VMFA AW242 and supporting units can complete training requirements here that aren't accessible to them in Japan.
Difference in Guam is that they do have an air-to-ground range. However, most of the range is over water and we don't have any specific targets. Whereas here, we have, as we said, the lat ranges and the ability to go down low. We also have some range complexes where we get to pick out targets and focus on finding, the actual target that we want to drop on. And then we also have the ability to see where our bombs impact, and we can say, hey, we did hit the target.
The transition from Iwakuni to Guam and now to Australia have posed some logistical problems.
Guam is 3 to 4 days to get logistical support from Iwakuni. Here it's closer to 8 to 10 days, and a lot of that's due to the unique nature of Australia with the intensive inspections they have to get in the country clearance, things like that, as well as it's an additional, I think it's 1,400 miles from Guam to here on top of that, so it's quite a long way to get support.
Even with a few problems surfacing, the pilots are getting their necessary maintenance and training in.
From a maintenance perspective, of course, we're here to, like I said, keep jets in a flyable status with the most systems possible. And the reason we come to Australia is essentially there's a lot more opportunities for air crew to get different training.
VMFA AW242, Marine Aircraft Logistics Squadron 12, and Marine Wing Support Squadron 171 have Marines and sailors in Exercise Southern Frontier, directly and indirectly supporting the mission of flight training. Lance Corporal Amy Douglas, Royal Australian Air Force Base, Tyndall, Australia.
American and Mongolian service members became one with Mother Nature during Exercise Conquest. Staff Sergeant Joshua Rosales has the details on survival in an isolated environment.
For the first time ever during Exercise Conquest, U.S. Marines and Mongolian soldiers are working together to survive in the wild. This survival training is providing these soldiers with some extra knowledge to stay alive in an isolated environment. Corporal Brian Ashworth, an instructor from the Jungle Warfare Training Center on Okinawa, Japan, says he has enjoyed working with these Mongolian soldiers.
Most generous, nicest, quickest learners I've ever dealt with. I mean, you show them something once, no matter how intricate it is, and they got it. You don't have to show it to them again.
And although these Marines are considered the instructors for this exercise, sometimes they become the students.
We've learned things off of them. I mean, we might show them a knot, and they say, hey, this knot's better for doing this, so it's kind of cool. I mean, being able to interact this is their environment. I mean, most of the stuff that we do, they teach us just as much as we teach them.
See square knot?
Surviving in the wild is not an easy task, but if the situation occurs, Corporal Ashworth is confident they now have the skills to stay alive.
Hopefully none of us ever get in a situation where we have to do this, but if we do, hey, we'll know what to do.
What we call one rope bridge. It's going to look like
I'm Air Force Staff Sergeant Josh Rosales, Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia.
Airmen from Ohio found themselves TDY in Guam to help the Red Horse Squadron with mission readiness. As you'll see, their visit yielded substantial results.
The 200th Red Horse Squadron from Port Clinton, Ohio's Air National Guard aided the 554th Red Horse Squadron with mission readiness while TDY on Andersen Air Force Base. Although the unit was here for just 2 weeks, their hard work and dedication led to substantial results. The unit assisted in the areas of services, vehicle maintenance, and supply. Not only did the unit repair vehicles that have not been operational, but also relocated emergency supplies. Andersen uses these supplies in the event that the base needs repair.
We have around 280 equipment items out here that we have to maintain on a regular basis, and with the harsh environment and terrain, we're replacing tires all the time, dry rotted hoses, and constant corrosion control. You'll no sooner fix one part of the vehicle and then another part will rust out. And a good example of that is right here, this headlight frame, which would normally last about 18 to 20 years in the States. You're going to have this rusted through in about a 3-year time interval here on Guam.
The 200th Red Horse Squadron is scheduled to come back to Guam in the near future to once again bring in more manpower. Reporting from Andersen Air Force Base, I'm Airman Francesca Pancham.
Liberty Call, Liberty Call. These are the words every sailor can't wait to hear. USS Fitzgerald sailors got to spend 4 days in northern Japan, complete with a warm welcome and a world-famous Nabuta festival.
The USS Fitzgerald made a port call in Omori City, Japan, so that the crew could take part and enjoy the world-famous Nabuta Festival. The Japanese Self-Defense Force, city leaders, and residents welcomed the ship into port with music and dancing traditional to the Nabuta Festival.
What I'm most excited about is I enjoy seeing our sailors participate in the other cultures. The opportunity for these young sailors to come out here and experience a culture unique to not only Japan but to the area, and to participate in the parade wearing a yukata. It's a unique lifetime experience that they will have. And when you get to, as a leader, see your sailors participate in that, any day is a good day.
During the 4-day port call, the sailors participated in the parade, enjoyed liberty, and spent time with children at a local orphanage. Airman First Class Michael Kantak, Misawa Air Base, Japan.
Coming up, festivals in Yokosuka and Camp Zama. But first, let's take a look around the Pacific Command in today's snapshots.
A Marine stays on the lookout during river reconnaissance training as part of Exercise Conquest in Mongolia. Japanese dancers in Omori greet sailors aboard USS Fitzgerald with a traditional dance as they arrive in port. An airman and her daughter watch a Japanese family learn to cook American meals during a homestay event in Misawa. And that's a look around the Pacific Command in today's snapshots.
Funding cutbacks have caused tremendous strain throughout the military, and many base festivals open to local nationals had to be canceled. However, Yokosuka Naval Base and Yokosuka City managed to pull together and hold their 37th annual Friendship Day.
For 37 years, Yokosuka Naval Base has opened its gates to the citizens of Yokosuka for a day of entertainment and cultural education. But this year, the annual Friendship Day almost didn't happen. Across Japan, bases weren't able to hold their own Friendship Days after difficulties with funding. But the people of Yokosuka worked together with the base and MWR to make sure nothing got in the way of their annual celebration.
So we're all here for the same purpose. We're all here serving our countries. Whether you're an American military member, a family member supporting your service member, or a local national that's here to enjoy a little bit of America. We're all in the same boat. We all just want to be friends and, get to know each other. And that's what these events are so great about.
I think it's a great way for the Japanese people to see how we work, how we're allowing them to try our gear on. I think it's for them is the best experience. And also we get to learn their culture coming down the base and to see how friendly they are.
Both service members and civilians, American and Japanese, recognize the importance of camaraderie. In 2011, an 8.9 earthquake shook Yokosuka. But the U.S. Navy and the people of Japan came together to provide aid for the disaster victims.
We're still in the recovery process in Japan from the great earthquake 2 years ago, and so all of our friendship activities that we can host really help strengthen that bond and just reinforce how much we really love our host nation neighbors and that we really are a team and a community here.
The Friendship Day closed with a fireworks display that was paid for by the city of Yokosuka. But at the end of the day, the most brilliant part of friendship is bringing two distant cultures together. Petty Officer Kirk Putnam, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
The next morning, it was time for Yokosuka sailors to have community cleaning stations. Petty Officer Brian Brooks reports.
After the fireworks and fun are done at Yokosuka Naval Base's Friendship Day, the camaraderie continues the next morning with a Yokosuka City cleanup. The project is directed by Shigeru Ueda, a representative of the civic group Clean Yokosuka.
This is our first step to let the local community know that we all get out and clean our own city. It especially shows that our local sailors also contribute to the cleanup and perhaps encourages more community members to join in.
The sailors involved in the cleanup get a lot out of it too.
You get to see different parts of the city because honestly I didn't know that this was right across the street from Mikasa Mall. I never ventured onto the other side. I normally just stay on Blue Street. So I think it's a good experience and it's nice to give back to the community that gives to me. I'm out here every weekend, so the least I can do is come out here and help to clean up.
Their efforts don't go unnoticed.
The sailors did such a good job that they barely left any work for us to do. We really enjoyed having them out here.
Events like these help show the depth of the bond between the Navy and our host nation of Japan and pave the way for future collaborations. Petty Officer Brian M. Brooks, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
We wrap up this newscast in Camp Zama, where more than 26,000 visitors came through the gates for the 54th annual Bonadori Festival. Attendees put on traditional clothing and danced the night away.
The 54th annual Bonadori Festival was held August 3rd on Camp Zama. U.S. Army Japan's largest bilateral festival of the year attracted more than 26,000 visitors to the installation. Many of the attendees danced in a circle around a large bone tower to the tune of many traditional Japanese folk songs.
The relationship between the local nationals and the people here on Camp Zama is wonderful, because it gives us the opportunity to come together with a traditional Japanese festival where everyone can participate in it and enjoy the festivities.
The Bon season is meant to honor the spirits of one's ancestors, and memorial services are held for those who have passed in July or August. The large group of people at the festival danced for about 90 minutes. They were then treated to a magnificent fireworks finale. For U.S. Army Garrison Japan, this is Sue Jorgensen reporting.
That's it for this newscast. From all of us here at AFN Pacific, thanks for watching.